everybody, welcome. In this video we are going to be discussing the new rule changes for Hyrox, the 24-25 season. There seems to be 7 total changes. One of those is sort of a headline act, and there are 6 others that seem to be a little bit more subtle. We're going to go through them one at a time. We're going to discuss what each of those means and what you might want to sort of consider with regards to training, practicing, form and implementation on the day. So the biggest change to the rules for the 24-25 season seems to come from the wall balls. For the ladies and the ladies doubles, they have been increased from 75 to 100 reps. Now it's always seemed to sit a bit funny with me that the wall balls has been scaled down 3 times, simplified 3 times, right? In all of the other weight related exercises in a Hyrox event, they have simply reduced the weight for the ladies, and that works great. They all have to do the same distance, they all have to do the same exercises, it's just slightly lighter for the ladies. Makes sense. But when you get to the wall balls, it's not only lighter wall ball, it's a lower target and it's fewer reps. It's just meant that we've never truly really been able to compare men's times with women's times because of this. The ladies are simply bobbing off 25 reps early and saving a whole bunch of time. I don't truly think you could have that equality or that comparison in times until the ladies have to hit the higher target. And I know some of you are probably saying, well, women are shorter than men. You can't assume anyone's height. You get plenty of tall women, you get plenty of short men. In theory, everyone should be hitting the same target, and it's only the weight that should be adjusted. Right, so the next rule change comes in the form of the damper on the ski erg and the row erg. Now, the rule has been historically that you cannot change it after you start, but that doesn't really account for those that might be rowing or skiing on different equipment to what they might have done in the gym. And you don't really know if it needs adjusting until you've actually started. And it's always felt a little bit odd because you don't gain any advantage or disadvantage from doing it. The only thing worth pointing out is if you're messing with your damper, you're not rowing or skiing, you're losing time. So it's something you don't really want to be meddling with too much in those particular exercises. So if you know what it's going to be, then set it before you start. And if you don't know, just leave it as it is. It won't make much difference at all. So the next rule change comes to the burpees, and this is related to how you step up into the standing position. Now what we've seen a lot of over time is people modifying the burpee, staying within the sort of rules as they are set out by Hyrox, but really are sort of manipulating the traditional burpee a bit. One such thing is stepping up into the burpee, but with unparalleled feet. So you take one step up with one foot, but when you bring the second foot up, it takes another sort of 4 or 5 inches of a step over the period of the entire run of burpees. That can make quite a lot of difference. So the rule is now that the feet must be parallel when you launch and when you land to stay within the rules. So the next change comes to the lunges, and this is quite a clean cut one. Your feet must not touch the white lines. So there's a start line, and at the bottom there's often a turnaround line. You must clear that line completely, so there shouldn't be any part of your foot touching or overhanging that line. It's going to come down to millimeters if you're not careful, and you don't want to be pulled, so just push that little bit further on each of those lines so you don't have to do an additional rep. The next change is in the sled pull, specifically the sled pull. Now, we have seen the technique for walking back in the box becoming probably one of the most commonly used techniques. Now, what you can find yourself doing when you are pulling back, if you are not careful, you might walk out of the box. Now, judges are going to be watching your feet as you sort of go backwards and forwards inside this box for any infractions over that rear line. Now, your rope can go over that line, but your feet must not. They must stay inside the box just to stay safe. Don't let your feet even touch the white line. So the next change is to both the sled pull and the sled push. Now when you enter the arena and you're running down to where you're being sort of pointed at, there's generally a marshal or a referee as you enter the zone saying go this way, and as you approach there will be someone pointing to particular lanes in which you can go in. Now, it's become popular for people to start where they think they should go, or where they want to go, like where their supporters might be standing. That's not allowed. You must go to the one lane that you are being instructed to go to, or face a penalty. And the last change to the rulebook, this goes to the farmer's carry. You wouldn't think there were many ways to mess up the farmer's carry, but there is. And I think this comes down to those people who are absolutely flying. The change to the rules stipulates that you must leave your kettlebells with the handles facing upwards. It's all too easy to come herring out of the end of the farmer's carry with your fingers on fire and just lumping them down wherever. They've got to go back into the respective box from what you took them from, and the handles must be facing upwards. They cannot have fallen over. If they fall over, you must right them, and if you run away, you will get a penalty for doing so. So all of the changes that I have just listed take effect from the 21st of September. So that means the very first event in the United Kingdom at Birmingham will be going by this new rule book. Please give the rules themselves a good read over. You can find the rule book just by Googling it or going to the Hyrox website. Thank you very much for coming and watching this video. I really appreciate it. If there's anything that you want to talk about, please drop them in the comments. Before you head off, just give the channel a subscribe. It really helps me keep coming back and making more and more content. And I hope to see some of you at the next Hyrox soon, which is Birmingham. So thank you guys. Mart out.